How would you feel if somebody catcalled your sister?
Yeah, I guess what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So
I see what you're saying. But the thing is,
it's game over.
Yeah. I'm not trying to defend.
The trucks pull up and things happen. People disappear. You know what I mean? Another week. Another week. We're doing it. We don't stop.
No.
We tell them zihou. Oh, Loush Ibi. And you. Welcome back. How you doing?
Not bad, you?
Yeah.
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 Could be better, but
yeah. We have discussed this issue in the past. We've talked about it at length. We have quite a few videos that actually celebrate our women and talk about the cultural role that men and women have, the pros and the cons, tradition versus modernity. But there's one thing, particularly in the MENA region, which is Middle East and North Africa, that I think still needs some work, which is women's empowerment. Not to be confused with men's weakening, if you will. I don't think one needs to happen over the other. I think that everybody needs to empower one another so that, you know, especially in Lebanon, when you think about Lebanon, which is, I would argue, some of probably one of the more modern countries in the Middle East and North Africa, but still has these really archaic, sort of patriarchal, if you want to call it that, systems that can often put women in really bad situations.
Okay.
Even when you think about kifala, when you think about the labor workers in Lebanon, which we're probably going to do another episode on. When you think about, they come from Sri Lanka, they come from Bangladesh, they come from Philippines and all that stuff. You know, there's a conversation to be had there, and it's just, I've been to Lebanon several times, and when I witness it with my own eyes, it really, really kind of sobers me and brings me into like a totally different world. Yeah. We found a video by a creator called Remie. She basically is addressing the topic of women's empowerment. Now, we know we've celebrated women. You guys know where we stand when it comes to our queens and princesses. But we wanted to sort of see what this video had to say, because it's actually quite creative, because they take the term batlewa, which is baklava in English dialect, and it's the pastry. It's the Lebanese pastry dessert. It's also in Greece and other parts of the Mediterranean. It's so good. They use that as a catcalling term in Lebanon. They call the woman batlewa all the time because she is sweet and she's like a dessert, and it's very degrading, very demeaning. It reduces the girl down to nothing. Similar to the same kind of catcalling we see in the West. But this creator took that term and really ran with it. And she's like, okay, cool. You want to call us batlewa? Here's what batlewa is all about, and here's what we think about it. So the video revolves around the common scenario in which women minding their own business and going about their day are sometimes grossly referred to as batlewa by random strange men. But the problem goes beyond everyday catcalling, which some men seem to think is innocent fun, forcing many women to simply adapt to it. Is it something that women should adapt to?
If you're comfortable with it, I guess, but if not, then don't.
Okay, I mean, that's a good point. Some girls enjoy catcalling, right?
Literally. Like,
I mean,
it goes both ways, bro, honestly.
Catcalling. I mean, some girls enjoy attention, if you will, and it's all relative to how they're used to receiving attention. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, why is a girl in an abusive relationship? Well, she probably reacted positively to toxic behavior. So it's not whether or not catcalling is right or wrong. I personally think it's wrong, but the girl may not have an issue with it, which to me may be signs of disrespect, like from the very beginning. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'll give you one that really challenges you here. How would you feel if somebody catcalled your sister?
Yeah, I guess what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So
I see what you're saying. But the thing is,
it's game over.
Yeah. I'm not trying to defend.
The trucks pull up and things happen. People disappear. You know what I mean?
Catcalling usually happens when there's a group of people. One is trying to show off in front of the rest.
Okay.
I don't usually see it happening when it's an individual. If you're an individual catcalling on a girl that's by herself and you're by yourself, that's just kind of stupid. Like
Interesting.
if you're interested in the person, just go ahead and present yourself as a man instead of standing back and catcalling. But that's usually how it works, honestly.
So I can see that catcalling is a byproduct of sort of the ego and the male.
Yes.
Like it's like an alpha thing to do in front of other men. But in Lebanon, I would argue there's a lot of guys out there. Now, I've personally, for me, I have 4 sisters. You have a sister. I have never in my entire life catcalled a woman. I have never even, like, I was, in my single days, I was so non-aggressive, bro. Just literally the girl would become interested in me because I didn't show interest. That's how proactive I was when it came to girls.
I'm on the same boat.
But there's some men, like, bro. Sorry, go ahead.
Me, I've been with a group of people who have been catcalling other women and so on.
Yeah.
But I was never the one to do it.
Right. Did you feel uncomfortable when they did that? Or were you like, whatever?
Yeah, because I'm there too, right?
Yeah.
So now you're the one talking. Words are coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're representing me because I'm standing beside you.
Right, by association.
You know what I mean?
So would you ever say something about it? Would you ever speak up against it? Like you would let it go?
I let the girl do her thing, man. She usually snaps at them first, so I'm like, there you go.
Right.
You got it.
Yeah.
You deserve it. So
let's watch the video. It has subtitles. It's in Arabic. Try to keep up, pause the video and whatnot, but here we go.
شريعتنا اللبنانية العربية ونظامنا الأبوي المرأة تسمى بالبقلاوة والبقلاوة هي نوع حلو عربي يصنع من رقائق العجين الزبدة السكر الجوز اللوز والقصص كيف يحدث الأمر؟ تمر الفتاة أم البنت أم المرأة لأنه في فرق بيناتهم بجانب السيارة التي يقودها شاب فيقول لها
شو البقلاوة صار لها أجيان وبتمشي؟
بلا كل سيرة.
Bro, listen, the funny thing is...
Oh no! The pastry grew legs and now it's walking?
Yeah, bro, but the thing is, like, in Arabic, it really does sound funny. Like, the amount of lines people come up with.
Yeah.
Like, how they come up with this stuff is beyond me.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually hilarious. But do I think it's right to do so? Obviously not. But to me, it's still funny. Like, how did you come up with that line?
I mean, it could be creative and still wrong
100%,
at the same time.
100%.
But the women in Lebanon are, I think that it's created an environment where the women won't even, they don't even care to publicly engage with the opposite sex. Like, and then you want to call them stuck up or you want to call them full of themselves, which, by the way, there are a lot of them that actually are, you know, but there's also sort of the just the regular type girls that are now, the relationship has changed from, oh, he could potentially be my friend, my boyfriend, my fiance, my husband, to, by default, you're probably going to abuse me or harass me in some way by virtue of being a male.
Yeah.
So it's like those guys, and that's one thing I wanted to mention before, is those guys actually ruin it.
For everybody else.
If you're single and you're at a shisha spot, you're at a cafe or you're at a club and your style is very calm, cool and collected and you just want to chill, have a good time, maybe buy a girl a drink, have the waitress send one over really nicely with a nice wave just to break the ice and whatnot. But then you have these hound dogs. You have these pit bulls that are like thirsty, that are just running up to every girl that they see. The girls leave. They now have this blanket perspective on all the men in this bar.
Yeah.
It's kind of like for us too, like it affects, well, not for us, but for single guys, it affects like their ability to kind of go against it.
Yeah.
As well.
It kind of makes it harder for everybody else.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. Yep.
البقلاوة التي تتحدث عنها والتي تحلي حياتك تخاف منك ليلا نهارا صباحا مساء مشيا
Look at this.
في شارع الحي
You see that video on the right?
الدنيا لأنك.
So this is a highly controversial video of a woman that just went into her building, the lobby of her building. This man was literally behind her. The camera caught him. She had no idea he was there. And look where he has his hand. Watch.
What the hell?
Look at that. You can't really see it, thank God. I don't need to censor it, but you can only tell what he's doing with his hand. You know, bro, you want to, and look, he's by himself. You said, oh, men have courage and they do it to be alpha around. this man actually thinks that it's okay what he's doing by himself.
That's messed up.
Yeah, like to say.
That's messed up. Yeah. Where was this?
Lebanon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are all Lebanese examples.
البقلاوة التي تتحدث عنها والتي تحبك تتفاداك مطبخا، صالونا، حماما، سريرا، لأنك خطر.
مين طلعك من المدرسة؟
خطيبي.
Wow.
مين طلعك من المدرسة؟
خطيبي.
Do you see how old she was?
She was like not even 10.
خطيبي.
Yeah.
You have a sister. You may be blessed with a daughter one day. Like the beauty and potential of this girl, you know, sucked into a system that allowed her to be engaged.
Yep.
And allowed her, she was pulled out of school, ya haram. All of her intellectual, academic potential gone. All of it. She's too young to fight it, you know?
She doesn't even know what's right or wrong.
Exactly. She's being told what's right or wrong.
Yep.
And this is a huge point that I want to make, is that this video is going after a specific type of man that is toxic, right? And that kills me right there.
Yeah, that's messed up. That's messed up.
البقلاوة التي تتحدث عنها والتي هي كل حياتك تتفاداك أحاديثا مشاريعا مشاهدة مسلسلات تركية لأنك الخطر.
أي أقسى كلمة قلت لها إياها اليوم تندم عليها؟
أنا البقلاوة التي تتحدث عنها، أعطيك وأعطيك، وماذا تفعل؟ تأخذ حتى بالقوة، أحميك بجسمي، وماذا تفعل؟ بتفتش على جسمي، خلصك بروحي من خيالك، وماذا تفعل؟ لحقنا مثل خيالي. البقلاوة التي تتحدث عنها هي أكلك، قهوتك، صوتك، فيروزك، صباحك، عيدك، إيمانك، أمنك، آمانك، أمك، قلبك. فماذا تفعل؟
So she's putting ba'lewa into context. The pastry that suddenly grew legs and is able to walk on the street. You're using this term as if I'm different than your mother, than your sister, than your daughter, than your religion, than the Virgin Mary or the Prophet's wife or his daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that she's putting it into context so that when somebody uses a derogatory term, they then can feel like you have to look at them the same way you look at the other important people in your life.
100%.
You know?
100%. And that's key too, man. Like, you have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Empathy.
Yeah, of course. Like, you treat people the way you want to be treated. But at the same time, treat others the same way you want others to treat your friends, family members, the whole nine.
Right.
It can't always be about you. Sensitive topic, man.
Yeah, but I don't mind talking about it because we're Lebanese Canadian. We weren't brought up in that system. That system is aggressive. My sisters growing up, I have two older sisters. They were courted by authentic Lebanese men, and I'm comfortable saying that they were just too aggressive for me. And they were gonna take care of everything. Some of them had money. Some of them were well connected in the army, in the government. And the entire system would have been at my sister's service. But I didn't accept it because I knew what the trade-off would be. Because that culture also includes men that call women ba'lewa.
Of course.
And it just wasn't worth the risk.
Yeah.
We were raised by authentic Arabs. We weren't raised by anybody else. And so that portion of the culture was downloaded to us.
Yep.
And we chose to keep some things and we chose to get rid of others, which is actually the benefit of being hybrids.
Yeah.
ما بدي منك شي ولا شي، بدي بس أعطيك تشوفني إشعانة تحس تبدلها. أنا صانعة أمان، فماذا تفعل؟
The safekeepers are kind of like community leaders, people you can go to and talk to about this. I really like the symbolism with the men at the end because it kind of plays into that social responsibility that men have as well. Women's empowerment also involves educating your son, educating your brother, and whoever else in your life. Like that's a part of it as well. Again, I need to stress that women's empowerment does not come at the expense of good men. It comes at the expense of toxic men. The men all looked back and they touched each other. So they communicated with one another, and then they all came back and then they touched her, as if like, okay, now we understand sort of what it is that you're trying to tell us. And we're going to empower you because you're worth way more than how we were defining you.
Yeah, it's a nice ripple effect too.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. We do have some queen and princess merch on the store that's just for you beautiful boss ladies out there. They're actually our top seller. I think Malaka is our top seller. The queen hoodie and sweatshirt.
Yeah.
The women of the collective have been absolutely crushing it.
Always.
Because they are strong, empowered, and definitely running the show. Let us know what you think about this. We thought we would take some time to talk about it. It's important. These are our women. These are our girls. These are our daughters. These are our sisters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And remember, we are like your cousins. We are like your brothers. And if anybody ever tries to catcall you, you know what we tell them?